After comprehensively understanding the profit and loss account and trading account in a very detailed way, and all the entries that are to be made there, and what are the three different profits, that is gross, operating and net profit, how they are computed, we now move to the next part of our financial statement, and that is called the uh, balance sheet. Balance sheet, actually it is, in this session we are going to discuss and understand what is balance sheet and how it is prepared. Actually, balance sheet is one of the three main financial statement that a business used to give a very quick overview or synoptical view of their financial situation at a very particular time period, maybe at the end of the year. Usually it is balance sheet is prepared at the end of the financial year, and this financial year is from 1st of April to 31st of March of any year. So on 31st March we must be ready with our balance sheets. So today we are going to learn in detail that how important this balance sheet is, and what are the various entries that are to be included in a balance sheet. So the profits, because the profits which we learned, that is computed, the net profit which is computed in the profit and loss account or statement, it is transferred to this balance sheet. So here the assets and the components of the balance sheet are that is the asset, the liability, shareholders equity of the business, they are displayed on the balance sheet. So here this equation, which is asset is equal to liabilities plus shareholders equity, this is something important to be understood. That is, a balance sheet reflects the two pillars. The two pillars, if it is a horizontal balance sheet, that is, on the left side we have all the liabilities, and on the right side we have all the assets. But on the left side we have the liabilities as well as shareholders equity, or it can also be owners fund. If it is owners fund, means the money which is brought in by the businessman into the business in order to run the business. There are different methods how the money is brought in by the businessman. If it is a sole proprietor or if it is a partnership firm, then their owners, they bring in the portion of capital which is required, and therefore it is called the capital. But if the company, it is a corporation or a big company, then the capital is raised through the shares, and the shares money, it is called shareholders equity, or maybe shareholders capital or equity capital. Why do we consider this? Why do we, when we are saying that we have two sides of a balance sheet, one is liability and the other is the asset side, and where does this capital included? It is included on the liability side. That means we assume the capital to be the liability for a business. Why is it assumed to be the liability? Because it is owner's money. Business and owners are two different identities. Whatever money is brought in by the businessman has to be returned back by the business to him one day or the other, maybe at the end of the business, that is when the business is winding up. But this is not business's own money, and therefore it is considered as liability, and therefore it is also included on the liability side of the balance sheet. So balance sheet gives us a long list, as it is there put before you. Let us check out that what are the list of assets that are. First we begin with list of assets that we have, and the equating balance equation is this is asset is equal to liability plus shareholders equity. Here we have on the asset side, first the assets are divided into two parts, that is current asset and non-current asset. Non-current asset may also be called the fixed assets. Current asset are the flexible asset, or they can be any. The current asset is the asset which can be present either in liquid form or anything that can be very easily be converted into liquidity. or maybe very easily converted into cash or cash equivalent. So therefore it is called the current asset, whereas the non-current asset or the fixed assets are those assets which cannot be very easily get converted into liquidity or maybe in cash. So some of the entries for the current assets are cash and cash equivalent. That is, all the liquid assets include the cash on hand and bank account balance. So here we have all the cash what is available to the business, and whatever the cash money is put in the bank. Cash equivalent means put the money which has been put into the bank, that is to be taken under this head. Second is the account receivable, that is amount which is owing by clients to the business for the product or services. Account receivables are also maybe we can say debtors are also another good example of account receivable. So account receivable are those people or those parties who owe money to the business, and they have to pay the money back sooner or later as per the terms and conditions between them. So when it was, for example, see who are the debtors or account receivable. For example, there are different range of customers in the market. We are selling our goods after producing, maybe to wholesalers, retailers. So there are some parties who immediately pay in cash and the transaction is over. Goods given and cash received, transaction is done. Whereas there are some other debtors too at the same time who do not pay immediately. They pay after some time. Maybe they say that, okay, please offer me, just allow me 20 days or 15 days or 10 days. So this is on this is they do not pay back. They take a gap of certain number of days in order to pay back the money. So that is your debtors. And sometimes it is also that they promise to pay in future, maybe a month or 2 months. Then in that case they give you bills receivable or the accounts receivable. That is a promissory sort of promissory note which promises to pay back the amount in future. So this way, this is also an asset, current asset, because sooner or later we have already sent the goods to them, and sooner or later we are going to get the money back. So this will be considered as an asset. After that, next is prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses are that are paid in advance for any services or for any goods that will be received in near future. So it is, for example, you are acquiring a building and you are using it. You are using it, but before the start of the year, you have paid the rent all in advance for the 12 months. But still you have another 12 months to use that building. So this becomes an asset. So prepaid expenses becomes an asset. That is all the expenditure that you have done in advance. Similarly, the next current asset is inventory. Inventory, we also call it stock. Inventory, that is the products that are kept for future sale, or maybe anything that is not sold yet, they will be sold in future. And stock comprises three categories. That is the raw material stock, which we have purchased from the market, but it is yet in process, yet to be finished, yet to be brought in for or utilized for manufacturing. Whereas on the other hand, we have work in progress stock also. Not completely raw material, but work in progress means all the stock which is not ready yet for the market, but it is also not in the raw form, but it is in a process to be completed and manufactured gradually and slowly. So here we have the inventory of three categories. That is raw material, work in progress, and the finished products that have to be sold. So company take it as an asset, because whenever it will be sold, it will be bringing in the money. So these were the items that come under the current assets. Then we have non-current assets, or we have the fixed assets. Anything that is fixed or maybe utilized by the business for a longer duration of period, longer gestation of time, then it is called the non-current asset. For example, property, plant, equipment, that is plant machinery, they will be there till the business is going on. And once the business stops, business is closed down, then obviously maybe these machines and these equipments and plant, they will be either sold off or they will be winded up, whatever the company does. But they are fixed in the sense they remain constant there, though there is a provision of depreciation in them, but still they are fixed for a longer period of time, for number of years, for many number of years. Next, we have an item as an asset. It is the intangible asset. Intangible assets are those assets which cannot be seen, which are not physically present, but the advantage of them are felt in terms of profit. They help the business to generate more and more profits, further profits. So, for example, goodwill. Goodwill is one of the intangible asset. Now, what happens in goodwill is that uh, if you have a good reputation in the market, if you have a good goodwill, a strong goodwill in the market, your products will be sold even if you make very little efforts for marketing your products. So this way this goodwill helps you in earning. If you have a bad goodwill, or if you have some maybe you have some goodwill is not as strong enough and you have some bad reputation in the market, then obviously your goods will not be in demand and you will be running into losses. And therefore, we see that there are certain intangible assets which help the business to earn the profits for a longer duration of time. It is called intangible assets. The examples are many. Maybe my trademark, maybe my the copyright that I have, the talent I have, the goodwill that I have, and these intangible assets are calculable. They can be calculated. Okay. Next is the investment. Investment is anything, any money or any amount which you have put as an investment in some other business, maybe, or in some other government opportunities or policies. So your money, whatever profits you've earned from this business, you've not invested in this, you have invested somewhere else, so that maybe to keep yourself maybe more secure, that if your business is running into losses, then maybe you will generate certain income from these investments. Next is long-term receivables. In long-term receivables, it is your when you are going to get your money or returns on your money for after a long gestation or period. Long gestation of period, that is maybe it is maybe following year you are going to get back or receive the amount in the next year, or you've sold something into the market and immediately or within this year you are not getting back your money. They are called the long-term receivables. So these are the asset side of the balance sheet, the items, the components that are there, that is classified under two heads, that is the current asset as well as the non-current asset. Next, we have the liability side. On the liability side, again, we can classify the liabilities into two parts, that is the current liability and the non-current liability. And similarly, here also, depending upon the flexibility or short span of time, we can define them as current or non-current. So some of the heads under the current liabilities are account payables, maybe sometimes also called as bills payable, that is the amount which the businessman owes to the others. Okay, that is the business owes to vendors for the product or services you have taken on credit. Suppose you are buying the raw material from the market, or you are buying some other commodities or equipments from the market in order to produce your goods. But you are not ready to pay, you don't have the amount to pay immediately, or you want to pay because of certain reasons after 15 days or 1 month, maybe as per the policy that you want to follow that. So this becomes a liability, because in future year you will have to pay to them. So they are noted as creditors. They may be noted as bills payable or account payable. That is those accounts which have to be paid in the future. So they stand as the liability part. Next, we have the short-term debt. Short-term debt is that when the company has taken loan or taken debt from the market for a shorter period of time, maybe suppose 3 months, maybe 4 months, like that. So here we have the short-term debts. Maybe you have to pay back within 1 year. Maturity period is just 1 year, so it is for a very short period, so we call them short term, and it is a liability for the business. Accrued liabilities, they are unpaid costs that have been incurred but they have not yet been paid. Maybe you have taken the benefits or some services from the market, and you still have to pay the liability which remains outstanding, and that needs to be paid in future. It is called accrued liabilities. And after that, last item is tax payable. That is overdue taxes that have not been paid yet. So that is included under the tax payable. Actually, every year we have to pay the taxes annually after computing the profits and loss account. And maybe if you have not paid it on time and you have delayed it, it becomes a liability on the date when it was supposed to be paid. And whenever you will be paying it up in future, the liability will be cleared down. So therefore, we also call this tax payable as included as one of the current liability. Non-current liability, the word itself is telling us that in non-current liability, the liability stands for maybe for a period of more than 1 year or 2 year, which is a longer duration or gestation period, and we are taking advantage of those maybe commodities, equipments, cash, etc., but we have to return back after a long period of time. So first is the long-term debts. That is, maybe suppose if you have issued debentures for maybe 5 years, that means you will be paying the amount after 5 years. To these debenture holders. So this goes on for the long term period. Maturity date is maybe beyond 1 year or 2 year. After that, we have deferred tax liability. That is, future tax requirement has to be you have deferred the tax liability and you have to pay it in certain future. Then there are pension liabilities, that is which is related to the employees of the company or the business who have to be paid pension in future years. So that liabilities. Then leasing obligations, long-term duties covered under the leasing contracts. That is anything, maybe your factory site, maybe your machinery, you have taken it on lease, and these leases have to paid back for a long number of years. Then it comes under the non-current liability or the fixed liability. And finally, we have the shareholders equity. Shareholders equity, as I said, that shareholders, if the funds are raised through the shareholders, the capital money that is raised through the shareholders in terms of share money, this money is a liability for the business, because one day or the other they have to pay back. But this is included under the long-term liability or fixed liability, because shareholders' money will be usually to be refunded only once the business closes down. That is, at the end of the life of the business, only the shareholders' money will be refunded back completely, and therefore it is included in the long term or the uh, last liability. So shareholders equity, maybe the shares are the shares which are represented by a common stock, they are issued into the market. They may be issued at par, at maybe discount, or maybe at premium. That it depends upon the market value of the share. That is. The amount is received, but this has to be paid back after a long duration of time. Some more items we have, for example, accrued gain or losses from earlier period that haven't been paid out as dividends are known as the retained earnings. That is also there to be included. So we find that when we take a comprehensive entry of these items in a systematic way, in a scientific way, we see that this balance sheet, while it shows the company's assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity, and or the remaining stake of the owners, giving a thorough summary of company's financial situation. So see, you get thorough summary here means that you get to see the main component where the money is engaged, or where the money is blocked, or where the money is utilized. So it gives you a snapshot on this single page, a snapshot about the financial health of the companies. So this balance sheet, it is used by creditors, analysts, and investors in order to evaluate the company's overall financial health and liquidity, and they apply various different ratio analysis here in order to find out the financial health of that company. And in order to show the equality of the accounting equation, this statement is usually presented with asset listed on the left side and the liabilities and shareholders to be listed on the right side. That depends upon what format the companies follow. There are different kinds of balance sheet too. For example, we have horizontal balance sheet. We have this is a good example of one of the common size balance sheet. We have the vertical balance sheet, we have the common size balance sheet, we have the abridged balance sheet, etc., etc. So this is all about the balance sheet. Let us see a sample of this balance sheet here. So what do we find here on the balance sheet? It is called the format of a common size balance sheet. It's not a horizontal balance sheet. On horizontal balance sheet, we have on the left side the share capital's equity as well as the liability, and on the right side we have the assets. Whereas here it is more of a vertical balance sheet, because here we start with the first box, the top box, which is including the equity, shareholders' equity, as well as the liabilities. So here the shareholders' equity, in this we include all the shareholders' fund, that is shareholders' capital, as well as the reserves and surpluses. What are reserves and surpluses? Reserves and surpluses are the cushion bank which is created by the business every year by diverting certain amount of money from the profits to this head, in order to, and this head is maintained, or this money is put as a cushion, as I said, in order to meet the unforeseen liabilities in future. So whenever there is some crisis, in order to meet that, for example, if there is a fire broke down in the factory, or sometimes a theft has taken place, in that cases this reserve money comes to help, and therefore we include it on the liability side, because it is supposed to be used whenever it is the requirement comes up. So there are two subheads, share capital and the reserves and surpluses. Second heading is the non-current liabilities. In non-current liabilities, we have three, that is long-term borrowings, long-term professions, and any other long-term liabilities, that is for more than a year. The third item is the current liabilities, which is short-term trademarks, trade payable, short-term provisions, and other current liabilities. So these are all the heads which are to be included on the to compute the total liability plus shareholders funds. Then on the box which is on the lower side, here we put down all the assets, and assets might start from fixed to current or current to fixed. Here it is the from fixed to current. So under the fixed asset, they have all the tangible assets as well as intangible asset. Tangible assets means furniture, fixture, or anything physical, and intangible will be goodwill. And then we have the non-current investment, deferred tax payment, long-term capital, long-term loans and advances, and other non-current assets. So anything that goes on for a number of years, that is for more than 1 year, we take it as a long-term or fixed asset. And then current, in this we have, as discussed, current investors, inventories, trade and trade receivables, cash and cash preferences, cash equivalences, short-term loans and advances, and other current assets. So this is how, and please take note of this, that both sides of the balance sheet should be equal. They must be equal. That is the liability and share, as we have shown this on the equation here. Sorry, here. Asset is equal to liability plus shareholders' equity. So, this equation has to be completed while we are making. So, this total has to be equal to this total. And if by any reason there is a gap and the figure, there is a difference between the both the side, then for temporary phase, we put that amount, the difference amount, on as a suspense amount, and for the meantime only, because on 31st March when we are preparing and immediately we are not able to find out why this difference is shown on the is coming on the balance sheet, we just put it on the under the head suspense account, and later on we just check back the accounts to find out the difference figure. So that is all about the final account. That is all for this session also. That is, we have understood. Now we have already understood the final accounts, that is including the trading account, profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. Thank you.